All right. So, welcome everyone to this live session on how to create content, video content from home. This is where I'm going to be talking to you about the convenient ways of how you can cut costs and what kind of equipment I use. And after this session is over, I will be addressing whatever questions you have. Yes. So first I'm going to talk a little bit about my YouTube course, and I'm not like, if you want to do it you can do it, but I do one of the things that I'm going to be covering here is that so basically this is my course, which so one of the things that I talk about in the course, and I'm going to talk about this here, is conceptualizing. Okay, so when you look at conceptualizing, whenever you, like, every video begins with one thing, which is an idea, whether it is an idea to do a recipe, or idea to teach a class, or idea to do tutorials on which phone to buy. Whatever your idea is, or whatever your concept is, it all begins with an idea and a concept. Okay, so first you have to ask, who is your audience? Like, who are you talking to? Like, for example, this idea of doing this live and basically doing a YouTube series came to me from a person who I've known. Actually, I met him at a common friend's wedding, and I don't even know if we spoke, but over years I guess he has been following my content. So recently, when I had posted the live readings, he had said, "Hey, can you tell me about your mic, and can you tell me about webinars?" So it's quite interesting that I have another friend, Dayanand, who friend as in my husband's schoolmate, Dayanand, you're my friend also, dude. But in like, everyone is now put in a situation where we have to create content. Now, as a content creator from home, because obviously being a mom, I had to set up a studio at home. It took a long time. It wasn't an easy, it's not like a one-time buy. It's a lot of investment. You do have to invest in certain things, like, like 3 things that you have to have is a good video format, audio, and light. So these are the 3 things that you have to get. Now, what you buy depends on whether you want to buy a basic light, a basic camera, a basic tripod, a basic mic, or a mid-level or a pro level. Okay, so that depends on you and your budgets, because even I, when I first started out, I bought a basic tripod and a basic mic and a basic like camera, right? So as you advance, as your demand gets more, you start improving on your what you like, on your quality also. Like, you can get away with the 720p webcam, but over time, if you do have the budget, then it'll be nice to have a 4K webcam. I don't have a 4K webcam. I don't have the need for a 4K webcam. But if you're doing tutorials, if you're doing sessions, if you're selling your classes on very high-end platforms, then definitely a 4K webcam would make sense to you. So basically, when it comes to equipment, it's really important to invest in what suits you and your budget. Don't over budget. Sometimes you don't need, I feel like 1080p is good enough. Like, what you're watching right now is a 1080p webcam. I am using a very high-end mic, and my light is very, like, it's not a basic light, but it's like a mid-range light. This is I'm using an LED light, which is it changes your temperature, and it changes from white to yellow. I prefer the yellow, like yellow tinge on the face. I have posted my setup photograph on Instagram, like, right now. So if you'd like to go later on and check out how my setup looked when I was doing this live, you could have a look at that. Generally, what I do is I'm going to show you this. Okay, so this is basically my setup. This is my mini studio, which I use. Because I use an Apple, I need to have this converter. Okay, so it's basically This is the converter that I use, which is the lightning converter to a the mic converter. Okay, now because Apple, you have to split the audio and the mic in an Apple, so I need a splitter. Okay, so basically that splits. This is what it is. It comes with an audio. This is a main mic thing, and it has a headphone and a mic splitter. Okay, that is put into the phone converter. Okay, and then look for the mic symbol, and that is set up with your mic. Okay, this is my Chotu mic. Okay, be careful to always set up your mic into the mic jack, because sometimes I've done a video with the wrong setup and the audio never got recorded. So that's also one thing to note. So this is basically my setup. This is my video setup. This is anything to do with my phone. If I'm shooting, if I'm podcasting, it's this little this set. So this stand, I've actually posted about this on my website, which I'll talk about. But basically this I got from like online, and this is where your phone or your iPad, iPad is a bit, maybe iPad mini would fit, but it's very tight for that, but generally your phone fits. What's nice is that it comes with this I don't know what the technical term for this is, where this goes on a tripod. So you can put it on a tripod like this for vertical, or you can put it on a tripod like this for horizontal. So I really like the stand. I use this almost every day. Okay, I even use it for podcasting. So it comes with these, I don't know if it's called shoes. So it comes with two of these brackets. So one for light and one for audio. Okay, I have not used the light with the audio yet, but, and it comes with a normal thing that you just slide in like this. Okay, and then you tighten it. Now this is my Rode mini mic, which took me a few years to buy. So because I'm not super rich, so I had to invest, and it's about 5,000. Yeah, it's about 5,000. Before that, I was using these like basic lapel mics, which were not very good and they were a little inconsistent. But this has really upped my game in terms of hi, my niece is watching. Hello. So then basically this mic helps remove the sound of your if you have that kind of sound. In this mic also I have like a little cushion over it, but this is nice because it filters the audio of it. So this is the Rode Mini. You get it online anywhere, and then this of course you connect to your phone, and then you put it on this bracket. You could use a normal tripod also, but normally what I like doing is I like the convenience of everything fitting in one go. So that is something that I really like. This comes with a little tightening thing here. So normally what happens is when you're shooting with the mobile, you can't put the mobile on a tripod without a converter, right? So what I find is rather than using that converter that snaps in, what happens is this helps me fit multiple items. So I don't know if you can find something that can fit your mic on top of it. Audio is really important in terms of when you're shooting. So I'm going to put this away because I've run on that. But if you'd like to ask me about this, we can during the discussions. I'm going to put this here. During the discussions, we can have more of a conversation about this. So yeah. So again, talking about the concept, the idea. So when you wake up one night and you have this great idea that, hey, I want to make a video about something, right? Anything. Like my niece Alida is here, and she makes beautiful videos telling stories, and she uses her toys and she makes these beautiful designs. One day she wakes up and she understands the concept, right, Alida? So I'm using you as an example to teach others. So cool. But basically you need a very solid idea and concept. With the concept, you have to ask, who is my audience? Who is going to be watching these videos? Okay. then who am I trying to communicate? When I'm trying to communicate what I'm trying to do. So for example, if my audience, like I do a lot of videos teaching languages, right? Mostly because my daughter is learning Hindi and Marathi. So because I'm teaching a language on Hindi and Marathi, the concept I'm going to obviously use is teaching a language, but my audience is people who do not know Hindi and Marathi. You're welcome. Then also talking about your location. Now, where is your audience from? One nice thing about YouTube is that they have analytics, so they tell you who your audience is. So for example, you can figure out which country your audience is in. For example, if your audience is mostly in India, then you can talk about Indian centric stuff. Like a lot of my viewers are from India. Some are from Italy. And some are from US, and some are from Australia, and some are from different places. Thank you everyone from every country who is watching. But you have to figure out who is your target audience. For example, right now what I'm talking about is content from home. This is not a topic that is limited to geography. It is you can be sitting in China, or you can be sitting in like Japan, you can be sitting in Singapore, you can be sitting in Australia, although it's pretty late for everyone there, but you can be sitting in the US, you can be sitting in Canada, and you could be sitting at home wondering how can I create my content to make it more engaging and more viable. So like I said, with the idea comes a concept of thinking about who your audience is. Then of course you have to talk about where you want to shoot it. Are you shooting it in the balcony, in your backyard, in your studio? And that also brings me into lighting, because lighting is really important. What happens is, I would always say, make the sun your best friend, because the sunlight is probably the best light you can ever get for any content that you're shooting. Like today, it's not sunny, it's evening. So I have put a light in front of me to give me a light. So I've set up my light on the wall to give me a soft light on my face. Okay. However, if you are shooting during the day, you need to move yourself or your setup or your cooking. Like I have a setup in my balcony and I shoot during the day because the lighting in my balcony is the most even for my food to look the most beautiful. The night shoots, lights are, if you can help it, don't shoot with lights. If you can help it, shoot with outside light, the natural light, because natural light makes your product look the best. It is the most you can do more with your setup. You can play with shadows a lot more with the sun is basically your best friend. So when you're creating content, understand that when you are choosing the location of what you're going to shoot, it needs to be in a place where there is sun, there is light abundant. Then over that, if you want to support it with a reflector or you want to support it with extra light, you can. But make the most of the sun. So in terms of location, always follow the light and time your videos according to where you get the maximum natural light, because that will really improve the quality of your content. If you see, most of my Instagram pictures are done during the day because I use the sun to give a nice diffused look to my photographs, because it looks much better. Then when we talk about where are you going to upload it, now because everyone is on YouTube, we'll talk about YouTube, but there are other means to upload. Like you can upload on Vimeo, you can upload on your website, you can upload on Facebook, you can upload on Instagram. Now every place that you upload has different rules and formats. So for example, YouTube has a rule that you can only upload 10 minutes unless you have a verified account. Then you can, I think, upload up to like 1 hour, 20 minutes beyond that. Then they have formats like your thumbnail has to be a certain size and all those things. Sorry. What happens in places like Instagram, it's not restricted to your landscape. You can have a vertical shooting mode. So all those depend on how you're going to shoot it. Now, if you're going to be shooting, like this is my phone, if you're going to be shooting like this, you're going to have to crop that, right? You're going to have to crop the video into this. So I will always say, I tell everybody, as much as it can help you, shoot like this. The only thing that I think, if you're shooting stories, like for Instagram stories or Facebook stories, which are basically the 24-hour stories that you do to sometimes promote what you're talking about, that can be shot in a vertical way, because then it gives you the maximum room. Even WhatsApp, if you're using WhatsApp to publicize your stories, again, it's within 24 hours, but a lot can be communicated in that 24-hour format. So understand where you're shooting, know your audience, know where you're shooting and for whom you're shooting, and those are very important elements to consider when you begin your journey as a content creator. We haven't even started picking up the camera yet. We're thinking and we're ideating and we're planning. So that's a really important element. Okay. Then, of course, a very important aspect of creating content, just like the ideating and the planning and figuring out who your audience is storyboarding, which, of course, if you've done the course, you understand that storyboarding is a really important concept. So what happens with storyboarding is that you have to plan each shot. What are you really trying to say, and what are you like? If the other day we were watching a movie, and in the scene there were two people talking, and in the background one person was hitting another person. Okay, it was a comedy scene, and you didn't realize, but what is being explained isn't just what is in front of your eyes, it's also your background. What are you saying in the background? So a lot of times what you say in one shot, like it sometimes it's called the mise en scène, which is like right now my mise en scène is the curtain. Behind me is a sofa cum bed cum crib, a cupboard, a mic in my frame. Now if I chose, I hope my audio is okay. Is my audio okay? Okay. If I chose to not have my mic in the frame, I could just move it here, and keep it out of the frame. So it would still catch my audio, but my mic would not be in the frame. But I'd like to have my mic in the frame. So I have consciously chosen this as my frame to do this video. So that's also very important in terms of what your storyboard is going to be, right? Then of course you've done this. You've done the storyboard, you've done your planning, you've done all these things. Now it's time to shoot. And as I began talking about, it's important to get, number one, what is your video? What is your video? What is your audio, and what is your light? These are the three important elements that you have to look at. Okay. Video is really important. If you shoot with a low quality camera, then you will get low quality in your video. If you choose a mid quality camera, you get a mid. So whatever camera you choose will be the quality you will get. It is what you see is what you get there. You cannot create great quality with a low quality camera. When I mean quality, I mean if your camera is a 720p camera or a webcam or whatever we're talking about in terms of webinars, or even if you're shooting something, if your quality of your camera, if your front camera of your mobile is of low quality, you will get that kind of a quality. You do not have to, that said, you do not have to go into 4K. I do not think 4K is still that necessary. Of course you get very good quality with 4K, but I feel like 1080p, which is the standard, is good enough, especially for web content, because your web is still limited to your computer screen, and computer screen is definitely much smaller than 1080p can be. Your 1080p is your big TV size, so when you're thinking about cameras, remember that getting a 1080p resolution is good enough, which is actually, most phones have 1080p in the in your cameras, so you don't have to worry about that. Maybe 20 years ago you'd have to worry about Vega camera and all those things, but you don't have to worry about those things. Then let's talk about audio. I touched on so basically you can use a very basic audio, and I've left some links in the description if you'd like to go through them. So they are basically looking at your basic range of video, basic range of audio, and basic range of lights. And then you have basic range of audio, mid range of audio, and pro level of audio, and similar with lights too. What I think, if you're just beginning and you don't have the budgets and the money, then invest in a very basic audio kit, provided the sound is good. Yes, most creators would say do make sure you invest in really excellent audio. If you can't afford it, don't stress. Don't stop making content because your audio is not up to the mark. Don't get audio that's going to be like that's not fun. But get an audio system which is clear and may not be so high quality, but I've left some basic audio options for you in case you want to check it out on Amazon. I would recommend getting the mid-level if you're serious about getting very good quality sound. Then a mid-range mic is very, very good. A mini Rode mic is what I'm talking about. It's like what I was showing you. Basically it's not a huge mic, but it's a tiny mic with this little, I forgot what this is called. But this is, for me at least, this is good enough. You don't need to invest in a big and a huge mic to do your content. Another thing is, this kind of a mic doesn't connect to the phone. A Rode mic connects to the phone provided you have your connectors, but this mic cannot. It has to be connected to the computer. Now if you're doing classes and if you're doing your tutorials and you're doing webinars, or having a mic connect to your computer is very important. Like I said, you have basic mics, mid-level mics, and you see what your budget is, because it is really important to not go crazy also, because you have to, like, if you're only going to make videos once a week or twice a week, then you don't need to invest in such a high-end mic. So that is about mic. I was talking about light and how you should become best friends with the sun, because light will always help you when you're shooting videos or photographs or whatever you're shooting. But that said, investing in a basic light kit to help you. But here's the key: never ever ever put the light directly on your subject. Okay, put the light up to the ceiling. Okay, if, like, I don't know if you can wait, let me try and show you this. This was my okay now this is basically my setup right now. What you're watching me, I'm sitting here, and sorry, this is ulta. This is a light, and that light is facing up to the ceiling. Okay, the light is to the ceiling because it needs to light me up in a balanced way. This is like a photographer's trick. Okay, so if you put light directly, it will completely burn. Whereas if you put light up, even if it's a mobile light, if you put it up on the ceiling, it spreads like an umbrella and gives you even light on your face. Okay, so that is a very, very important element. Hiya. And that's my mother-in-law who's here, so hello. Yes, so basically looking at that, then let's move on to a tripod. Now tripod you don't need if you're gonna do videos on the computer. You can rest your mic on the desk itself, but definitely having a stand for the mic, having a small stand or a big stand. I have a stand that can move, like, maybe I should play with my audio right now, but I have a stand that can move, so when I'm done, I move it out of my way, because I don't want the mic constantly in my face, right? So having a stand helps. If you're shooting, like Alida, my beautiful niece, shoots like a setup where she has a set with elements like a story and props that she uses. So for that you do need a tripod to rest your camera, your phone and your audio in, so you can then shoot in a steady way and not shake. So actually after this chat I'm going to leave her link in the bottom, because she's super talented and amazing. And yeah, so like for example, if you're doing a shoot like that where there's a prop, and or even a recipe shoot, if you're shooting a recipe, having your camera and light and audio in a position that is fixed helps you evade the shakes that happen, especially if you want to shoot regularly. It's better to have a tripod. There are a lot of basic tripods you can pick up in stores. Go on Amazon or follow the link if you want in the bottom, and it's amazing. So that's there. Then talking about how to shoot. So normally now if you're shooting like a recipe video, you will use a camera. If you're shooting a play, or if you're shooting a set, or if you're shooting a story, then you'll need maybe a DSLR or basic camera, right? But if you're doing webinars or web series, if you're doing especially classes, that you'll of course use the computer and the webcam. Now you can use the native webcam, which is the fixed one that's already on your computer, or you can buy an extra webcam if you want. I don't own any webcam. I just use what the computer has given because it's good enough. And so that is there. For streaming, just touching on this, I will go through more things about content from home. But for streaming, like if you want to go live, there are lots of streaming services that you can use. You can go directly from YouTube. I like the idea of going directly from YouTube. You go on your desktop, so you cannot go live from your phone unless you have 1,000 subscribers. I don't have 1,000 subscribers, so because I don't have 1,000 subscribers, I can't go live from my phone. Later on maybe I will be, but right now I can go live from Chrome on my desktop, and also other, I think Firefox and Safari too, but generally Chrome is easier because it's a part of Google and it's its native app and all that. But if you want more control, like for example right now when I'm chatting with you, I'm able to look right and I'm able to see that okay, I have 4 viewers, and then I have 3 likes, thank you, and so as people will interact, I can look at the chat. For those kind of resources, there's an app called OBS. It's a free app, completely free, and it's very so there are a lot of good apps that they're very, very easy, but they cost a lot. Like they cost about $25 or $30 a month, which for me is very expensive if this is not going to generate income. And right now, at least, live seminars or tutorials don't really generate too much income. So in terms of investment, I would always go for free investments, right? So OBS is a free streaming software which you can download on both Android and Windows and Mac formats, and I think even Linux, and it's free, and it needs a few tutorials. Like you need to figure out, you have to watch a few YouTube tutorials to learn how to do it. But once you learn the basics, then it's very easy. And so I'm streaming through OBS right now, and it's pretty good. So you just have to get the key from YouTube and paste that key into your software, and then it connects the app and YouTube together, so then you can stream. And what's nice about OBS is, of course I'm not doing it right now, but if I want to put a picture in my frame like here, I can do that. If I want to put a logo here or an animation here, I can do all those things if I want. Right now, today, I don't want to do that, but OBS enables you to do it. So that's a very nice thing. So creating content from home also means that you have to have, in terms of audio, you have to have no or little noise. So find a quiet place to shoot. Like right now, my family is in the other room and they've been told to like be quiet, and even though my daughter's watching TV, but the door is closed. However, there's some like bells ringing in the sides, you may be able to hear it. So finding a place which doesn't disturb your audio is also very, very important. Then when you actually shoot it, so now this is what is interesting, and this may help you in your content creation from home. One of the things that I've realized after the lockdown and after this whole COVID-19 thing happened was that when you shoot from a DSLR or a phone, you have to bring it to the table and you have to edit it. And then after editing, then you have to upload it and then, create a thumbnail and all those things you have to do, right? When you go live, you cut all the time to edit into zero. So if you know your if you know what you're going to speak, if you know your concept, if you know what you're going to do, and you don't need to make any cuts. Like for example, I'm having a discussion with you about content creation from home. Now, I could have done this video, recorded it, edited, and put it up, and it would have been the same. But it is far more convenient to go live and do this kind of a show where editing is very minimum, so your post-production time goes low. So my recommendation, especially for people who are working from home and doing webinars or web series or whatever you're doing, I feel like if you have your content down, if you know what you're going to say, go for the live modes much more than the recorded modes, because you tend to be it's human nature to want to be more of a perfectionist, and I don't think that's necessary, because you save so much time. So for example, after I'm done with this video, YouTube saves the video for me, and then I can choose to go live and have that video as a video that people can see later on. I'm going to do that. So which means all my friends and content creators who weren't able to make this live video will be able to replay the whole video and watch it again. I didn't have to edit it. It will be a live version, but because I knew my concepts and my content, it's like a full-fledged video. So going live saves a lot of time. But again, it depends on what you're doing. Like if you're reading a book, you can read a book live. But if you're making a recipe, that may not be practical to go live, because recipes are not cut to cut, and you have to fast forward a little bit. You don't want to sit in, unless you're doing like a live recipe with cook with me kind of thing, but that goes on for hours, unless you're making like bread and butter and jam. So choose whatever, it depends on what you're choosing, on what your format is, but choose your modes. So if you want to record, choose that wisely, and if you can afford to go live, then you should go live. A lot of elements that I have discovered that help you in your filmmaking process, which you don't need a fancy editing software. If you're in Windows, then Movie Maker is nice. Even going through PowerPoint presentations to express what you want through their animations is very effective, especially if you're giving information. Like I have watched a lot of information about health and information about fitness, those kind of videos that base their information on PowerPoint. Like a lot of my language videos talking about like language and how to learn Hindi and how to learn Marathi, those videos have been done on Keynote. They've not been done on of course I add music and I add elements on my editing software, but if you want a basic slideshow, then use PowerPoint presentations and keynotes. This is a very helpful tip that can help you in terms of minimize your graphics work, because PowerPoint and Keynote come with ready-made graphics that can really help you, and as long as you work with PNGs. Now PNG files are basically files without any background. So now you can make these files on your phone. There are many apps that create PNGs. Yeah, Alida, I'll answer your question. I'll answer your question a little later. Yeah. So basically, when you what was I saying? I totally forgot my line of thought. Okay, let me answer your question, Alida. Right. So, Alida, my niece who lives in Italy, has asked this question. I wanted to go live, but YouTube is saying it can't. Okay, so firstly, Alida, I think you need to have subscribers that allow you to, I think YouTube has a minimum subscriber list before you can go live, so you have to check their policies on how many subscribers you have to have before you can go live. That's number one. Number two is you, I think because your child, maybe there are different policies about going live, and so that's point number two. But you can go back and see what the rules are, and then we can have this conversation about this later. But generally you have to have a limit. I don't know what the limit is, but I know that I can't go live from my phone. I have to go live from my desktop. So even I have limitations because of the rules that and the policies that YouTube has set. So you have to see your subscriber list and see whether you are able or allowed or eligible to go live. So I think you have to verify your YouTube, or you have to have at least 5, I don't know, I don't know if it's 100 or 500 or some level of subscribers before you can go live, or verified. I'm not sure, but you check that out, Alida. Okay, back to the, I hope that helped you. So back to so I was talking about OBS and going streaming, I think. But let me talk about sharing. So a big part of creating content from home is also publicizing it. So when you're publicizing it, it is not just, okay, I've made it and now people should watch it. It is also about sharing it on social media like Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest. Pinterest is a great app, or an app that helps promote your content. Each website again has a format of how to you're welcome. Each website has a format of how to what picture format, what is your size, how you should post it. Like for example, if using Alida's example, she has a toy that she does a feature on. So for example, if she's doing a feature on her toy, then if a toy goes to the beach, then he's gone to the beach, and so she will take a photograph of the beach and the toy, and then she will post that picture in the Pinterest format on Pinterest. But to post it on Instagram, she has to post it on an Instagram format. Then to post it on Facebook, it's a Facebook format. So every social media has a different format that you have to post it on. Many of you may know this, many of you may not, but there are applications like Canva. Canva helps you post it according to, so you can create a picture, like a thumbnail, right? You can take a photograph or what you want to represent in your photograph, and then based on that, the app lets you change the style accordingly. Like I use an app called Over, and Over is not a free app. It has a free element to an app, so it gives you some free features. But I recently, because Over was so sweet to give people free access to their premium account during the COVID-19. I think 30th June is their last day. But because they did that, I felt very happy, and I opted for their premium plan. But Over is a good app which you can also function in a free way with limited graphics, where you can create it. Allows you for free to create your photographs in the format that your social media has. So you may have the same picture that looks in a way that is exported as Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Well, Twitter it's okay. Twitter is okay with any format, and YouTube, because YouTube thumbnail is also a particular format. So I would advise to go through these kind of apps. Like Canva is also very good. I haven't tried Canva for my YouTube thumbnail yet, but Canva is very good for creating worksheets and very good for giving you templates for slideshows and different elements that you'd like to add in your content created from home. So these are the two apps that I would totally recommend for your slide work, or your photographs, or your thumbnails, or your promotional material for your content from home. Okay, so that is the apps that are used for either making a slide, either like adding titles or videos or pictures into your video. So those apps can really help you. Now, so we've talked about lots of things to do. One very important thing that one must do, especially if one is coming on camera, one is when you get ready to do a YouTube video or a tutorial or a lecture or any class, it's gonna sound funny, okay? But if you're a woman, then go put on some clothes that make you look don't come in your nightie to give a class. You have to obviously dress up nicely. I mean, I don't think I need to tell women that, because we're all always very conscious of ourselves. But men, go have a bath, shave, look nice, because what you are showing is what people are seeing. So don't take it for granted what colors you wear. Like, for example, confession, when I was getting ready for this live, I changed 3 times because the color wasn't matching the pillows, was not matching the curtains, was not matching the wall. So for me, looking like I'm not standing to, like, I wore colors that made me blend into the scene rather than stand out too much, because I don't want to be like dish dang, like in the scene. So understand what you're wearing, understand if you've washed your face or brushed your teeth. Like, make sure you don't have anything in your teeth while you're giving lectures. I know it's very basic and it's very funny, but it's very true that when you create content from home, you tend to forget that you're in your pajamas, or you tend to forget that you haven't put put a little bit of, if you're old enough, Lida, not you, but like put a little makeup on, which makes you look fresh and nice. Sometimes we forget when we're working from home that we need to look a little nice on camera. It's not being, I'm not being like, it's not like, oh, you must look only nice, but if you appear pleasant, like I don't normally wear earrings at home, but I'm wearing earrings because it creates a pleasant look on screen. So think about that. Think about your clothes. What looks good on camera? What do you look good in? If you're conscious of looking too thin or too fat or whatever, be comfortable. So when you do come on camera, whether it's for a class, whether it's for a recipe video, whether it's for any content that you're creating, make sure you're feeling good and feeling confident to come on camera. Be conscious of that, because your content will be better if you are feeling good, if you're looking nice, if you're feeling nice, if you're feeling healthy, if you're feeling well nourished and well replenished with food. Like, eat before producing a show, eat before going live, because there's no point being like grrr, and the audio of your stomach growling comes on screen. So these are small things you have to think about, but these are also elements that you can think about in terms of your content creation. So moving on to so for example, if you're not doing a web-based content thing, then you move into shooting, and then you move into editing. And when you shoot, of course, make sure you shoot different angles, different versions, because you can't always replicate the same light, especially if you're shooting out. Be conscious of the time that you're shooting. Shoot the golden hour is at sunrise and sunset, but this is also a very important time for the sun to go down dramatically. So sometimes I have started shooting at 5 o'clock, but by the time I finish, the whole lighting has changed. So it is always better to shoot where the sun is most consistent and not moving dramatically to change your exposure to camera. Like, for example, if you notice, I don't know if you're observant, every time I raise my hand, the lighting is changing. Okay, and right now it's not changed, but if you're conscious of this, the exposure shifts, and when it shifts, it doesn't look good on camera, like especially when you're recording, and then in post-production you can't change it. So I would always say between 10 and 12 is a very nice time to shoot in the morning, because the sun is not so dramatic. Okay, similarly between 1 to 4 is an excellent time to shoot if you have a diffuse situation. Okay, if you have a situation where you're in, of course we're talking about work from home, content from home, so you are indoors, so get a place with curtains and a window near where you are, and shoot at a time where the sun does not shift its axis dramatically to change your lighting situation. So this period, basically 10 to 12, is a very nice period to shoot, and maybe 1 to 4 is a very nice time to shoot, especially if your windows are closed and you have that diffuse light situation. That is very important. Then in terms of editing, for Windows you can use apps like Windows Maker. There are a lot of online there are a lot of apps that have video editing. I personally use FCP, and that is primarily because I've been using FCP for like 10 years. I find it very easy. If you do want to do my course, which Alida has done, my niece, it's a video editing course making you understand the storyboards and basics of editing. I won't get into details about that. Once you finish your edit, and once you finished your content that you have created, once you've tirelessly talked about your ideas, you've talked about your concept, you have understood your audience, you have got your technical part right, you look good, you feel good, then you've recorded it and you've edited it, then starts your journey. And a lot of people think, acha, I've made it and now bus, but it's not that. Exporting it also has these paradigms that you have to consider, like I touched on a little bit about. When you export it into different medias, the format changes. For example, Instagram has IGTV. So Instagram allows you 1 minute of posts on your main Instagram account. If you have an IGTV account, it allows you 10 minutes. That's it. Beyond that, it doesn't. However, if you go live, now this is a secret that not a lot of people know. I don't know if Instagram wants me to share this. But if you go live on Instagram, then your live is automatically changed into a IGTV video. Okay, that is really good, because if your live exceeds 20 minutes, it still makes it into a video. So that's a very cool tip or a hack to apply to IGTV, because again, because I don't have so many subscribers on Instagram, I'm not allowed to upload more than 10 minutes on Instagram. But there's a little crack. If you go live and do what you do on Instagram, then it automatically makes your video, automatically formats your video into an IGTV video, and then you get like a big you get a big file in your IGTV video. YouTube has limitations. So again, if you don't have a number of subscribers as their limit, you can't you can't upload more than 10 minutes. Then once you cross that and you get a verified account, then you can upload more than 20 minutes and above. Even lives, you can't go live until you have a number of subscribers. After you reach that number of subscribers, then you can go live. However, it's restricted to I think once you get 1,000 subscribers, then you can go live from your phone. Like, I don't have 1,000 subscribers, I have 600 subscribers. So because of that, I can go live from my desktop, but I can't go live from my phone. So that is another element. Okay. Facebook is a little more open in terms of what you post. Another thing very important, music that you use. If you're taking music that's original, that's much better. If you've bought music from a legitimate online sharing site, which is expensive, but if you do that, then you won't get flagged. But if you use pirated music in Instagram, your video will be removed. Okay, If you use pirated music on Facebook, your whole video will be removed. But if you use your pirated music on YouTube, your video will not be removed, but you will get a strike. Not a strike, it's not so serious, but you will get a like a, what is it? I don't know the technical term, but you'll basically be given a strike. Okay, the strike is nothing. It's just that. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Drink water before you start. Yeah, sorry. All right. So on YouTube, it's a claim. I think they claim your video begins to publicize their content. So, for example, if I use a song from some Hindi film, and T Series owns that song, they can use my video to publicize their song, and they earn money. Okay, which is okay. It's fine. But if you want to earn money from your video, you have to use original music and your own content. So as far as you can help it, use your own content that you've produced, you've created. Now, if you are like regular at wanting to create content online, and definitely from home, there are many ways you can even create music. If you have a Mac, I use a lot of my music comes from GarageBand, so I use a lot of music that I create from my piano. Sorry, my piano is there. So I use a lot of music that I create from my piano, and then I mix it with loops, and I mix it with tracks and beats, and I create my own original soundtrack. That's really good if you want to if you want to eventually earn money. A big note, I know I didn't really want to get into the monetary aspect of this, but YouTube does not give you too much earning. Like, too much means, right now I've been on YouTube for like 10 years. I have never earned 1 rupee from YouTube. Okay, it is because it is very difficult to earn money on YouTube. Even when you do, it is not that much, maybe like 10 rupees or 20 rupees. Okay, but I mean, I don't know, I haven't earned money, but I know for a fact that it's not that much. How you earn money from your content, of course, can be featured in another video, but just to give you an overview, you have to if you have to use YouTube to publicize your content. You cannot make YouTube the end all for earning money. So if you want to put your videos for your course materials, use other sites to publicize it. So there are other sites that actually you can earn. So Shutterstock, videos, there are many sites, especially if you're a photographer or videographer, if you operate drones, all these stock, like, I don't think Adobe pays, but like Shutterstock pays. Yeah, there are different sites that pay. What happens with me is that I've realized that your earning from your video content is purely on your website, and if you're creating tutorials, or it's individual, it's not through directly through YouTube or directly through Facebook. Not to burst anybody's bubble, but it is not, don't put your eggs in one basket when it comes to earning from YouTube, because it'll just be a tireless battle of not having you're feeling discouraged, because it's not easy unless you're making viral videos every single day. It is very difficult to reach, especially if you have a niche, like a niche topic. Like for me, in my YouTube videos, I talk about technology, I talk about motherhood, I talk about education, I talk about different things. I talk about makeup, I talk about women, I talk about different topics, right? Even with a scope as wide as mine, my viewership is limited. Whereas my earning in other ways, like Udemy, I have a course on Udemy, so my earning comes from there. Or I have a course on this website, or I have worksheets on Teachers Pay Teachers. So my earnings, like online, comes from direct student to teacher buying, not through or donation. Patron is there for donations. There are a lot of other sites that help generate money towards you as a content creator. Affiliations are great, but in my experience, I have not found too much success with affiliations. So that is another thing that when in terms of earning from online, we can, if you want, do a very detailed video on that. Earning from online is not as consistent and too much as people think it is. Definitely not. And all the people who you see are viral and on top of their YouTube games have a team working for them. It's not individuals. So if you're an individual feeling very discouraged on why you're not viral yet, remember that what you're seeing on the internet is actually not what you're not seeing behind the scenes. Like I recently shot in October or something, I shot for a YouTube channel. I won't say their name because I don't want to insult them, but they had a team of like 30 people, and their videos still don't have that many. They're not viral, they're very popular, but they have like 300 to maybe 1k views. So it varies in terms of their viewership and stuff. So, and they have 30 people working on that one video, so don't be it's easier to feel discouraged when you create content from home, because one of the struggles that I've had in my journey as a content creator is why is nobody watching, why is nobody engaging with the content that I'm, for example, if I create a video on how to help children learn GK, and if only 30 people view it, then there's a part of me that says, "Arey yaar, only 30 people saw it. I put so much effort in it." But eventually, and this is a word of encouragement, eventually, over time, your views will triple and get better and better and better. You may not earn from your views, but like many years ago, I put a camel. I went to Jaisalmer and I saw a camel getting angry. Okay, I'd never seen a camel getting angry. All right, so I immediately shot it. Right, I got my camera and I shot the whole video of the camel having a tantrum basically and fighting with his owner. And it was hilarious because the guy was trying to pacify him and the camel was getting upset. Then the gentleman standing next to me, somebody I didn't even know, was telling me that apparently in winter, the camels get very angry, they get very aggressive, and they need to be moved to a warmer spot, which is why you will see a lot of camels maybe during the cold seasons come here maybe in Delhi or around Gujarat, a little cool, warmer places, because in the desert it gets a bit cold in winter. So when I saw that, I shot that video and it was fantastic. And when I first posted it, like nobody saw it, like 2 people or 3 people, and it was super discouraging, and I forgot about it and I moved on with my life. 2 years later, I went on my it was posted on my Newsalicious YouTube channel, which is basically news items that are like with a twist and fun information. And I have almost 1,000 people who've seen that video and have loved it. So then I realized that content may not engage initially. It may take a little time. So be patient with yourself, and over time your content will get the right people, the right audience, and then you'll figure it out. So that is on that note. Yeah, that's about it. I think let me just see if I've missed anything. Yeah, if you want to get more into the course, there are some courses that I've made for editing and for creating content on YouTube, but this kind of covers it. I mean, if you watch this video, it's like good enough. Do you all have any questions? Let me know. I'll give a little pause to just wait for any questions. I know, Alida, I answered your question. You can check that. But if there aren't any questions, then I'll go then. Okay, so George has verified, Alida, if you're still here, George has verified that you can go live from your desktop even if you don't have 1,000 subscribers. So try doing that and maybe it'll work. So you can check that out. So that will help you. Thank you, George, for helping from the other room. Okay, I guess that's it. Thank you for joining me, and let me know if there are any questions. You can leave them in the comments if you weren't able to join this live and you've seen this live a little later, which I'm sure a lot of you would have. Leave the questions in the comment section and I will answer them. And if I need to do a follow-up video, I'm happy to do that. We're all here in this together. Be encouraged. And when it comes to your concepts and ideas and shooting and audio and lighting, I have left a few links here in the description down here if you'd like to use them as a reference to find products that work for you. And I will also leave the Udemy course for people who are interested in learning a little more about how to create content for YouTube, and hope this has helped you. And chalo, I'll catch you guys. Bye.